Today, we're going to be jumping in these rooms and talking about all the different things that we control in this environment to make sure that we get beautiful mushroom fruits. So come in, we'll have a look. There we go. Righto. 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 Nice. All right. So this right here is the center room between mushroom fruiting room 1 and 2. Fruiting room 2 currently has mushrooms in it, so we're not going to go in there, but fruiting room 1 we'll jump into in a sec. But before I do that, I want to tell you a few little basics about this room right here. So in these rooms, we regulate 4 key environmental factors. First one is humidity. We keep that around 90% relative. That makes sure that you get really juicy fruits on the mushroom bags. Second one is light. We keep that on a 12-12 cycle. Light's not as important, but it gives the mushrooms an orientation to grow. Third one is oxygen saturation. We keep the carbon dioxide really low. Mushrooms exude carbon dioxide in their biological processes, unlike plants. Plants ingest carbon dioxide, mushrooms exude it. And fourth, we keep the temperature around 18 degrees, 17, 18. If it gets above 25, the mushrooms really struggle, but we keep it below 20 so that they're super comfy. They grow a little bit slower around 17, 18, but they develop beautiful colors, usually a lot richer, darker colors in the case of the oyster. But yeah, if we keep all of those things optimal, we keep them around where they need to be, we'll get nice, juicy, fresh mushrooms that'll sit on the shelf for a long time. Yeah, come in, we'll have a look and see what's going on here. We're in fruiting room 1 now. It's empty, as you can see, but normally this room would be full of bags on these shelves and these shelves just here and here. If the room was full though, you'd need a respirator because the mushrooms, the way they reproduce is by throwing spores out into the environment, and they throw billions of spores, and your lungs really don't do well with that sort of stuff. So you need a respirator when there's mushrooms growing in here. The mushrooms, they, as I said, need 4 key environmental factors. The light is one, it's on a 12-12 cycle. Another one which we regulate just by cycling the air through is temperature. We bring in refrigerated air through our air cons just up the top there. Those intake fans draw that air in, and then at the same time, with that positive pressure that comes in from the top of the room, we also control the CO2 concentration with the exhaust fans. Because CO2 is heavier than oxygen, it drops to the floor, and then the oxygen that's drawn in from the top, mixed with atmospheric air from outside, comes into the room and keeps the CO2 levels low. That's just through us cycling the air round and round and round. But yeah, you can see those exhaust fans that I'm talking about over there. And then humidity. Humidity, one of the most important things in growing mushrooms. We control that by this little vessel down here. It's just a tub of water, and we've got an ultrasonic mister in there which shifts the water from liquid to gas, like that. The gas is then pushed through a fan up through that pipe, and this pipe above me here has got holes in it at the top, and steam just comes out of the top. It's that simple. That then keeps the humidity in the room at 90-95% relative, and as long as we maintain that, the fruits of the mushroom will form really nicely and really juicy. But yeah, these rooms, they work really well for us. What we use them for growing mushrooms, they're perfect. As I said, they are a little bit overkill, but we know that if we've got our fans working, the aircon's working, and the humidity is kept high, even through really hot 36, 37 degree summer's days, these rooms will stay at 17, 18 degrees and the mushrooms will be fine. But yeah, as you can probably tell from the amount of empty space that we've got in here, and if you've seen those blocks outside, you've seen the size, it's a lot of work raising mushrooms, a lot of moving, a lot of hands-on between each of the phases of their life cycle on the farm. We love what we do, and if you're thinking about getting into mushroom farming, you've got to love it too, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of cleaning, it's a lot of bag handling, but the payoff is massive. The mushrooms that we can produce from these rooms are beautiful, and we can raise a lot of different kinds of mushrooms in these rooms because there's There's many varieties of oyster and lion's mane, shiitake, reishi, that all share similar growing conditions. We'll talk about all of those in detail in another video. And I would have been remiss if I didn't mention these beautiful racks here. Spurs made these. Master welder. If you want to get a little zoom in up on these here, you'll see the welds are schmicko. That right there. I think he's been welding since he was 4. That's what he told me, 3 or 4. So you can really see the experience he's got with the way these racks are built. But yeah, most of the farm wouldn't operate the way it does without Spurs, so we really like what he does. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting into mushroom cultivation, if you can get your fruiting room schmicko and get those 4 environmental factors under control, you'll have a great space and you won't have any issues. Just keep it clean and you'll be good. Cheers.